Hey Aries, it's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. Hope you're doing well. This is your reading for August of 2020. So let's see what's going on. Okay, moons. So August 3rd, we have a full moon in the sign of Aquarius. And August 19th, we have a new moon in the sign of Leo. These sort of all want to come out. I'm going to do a modified Celtic cross. Just one more. One more, Aries. I have Leo on my brain probably because I just said Leo, but I don't know if Leo. Well, we're going to be in Leo time until around, the 19th of August. So I'll do this one. Bottom of the deck. Okay, at the bottom of the deck here is the King of Cups. So this King of Cups, their energy is so this is an underlying energy, an underlying theme, a foundation for where you're at. The King of Cups is someone who feels their emotions and uses their emotions to guide them, but are not completely ruled by their emotions. So say you get a nasty email at work, someone's having a day, or maybe they're always like that, and if the King of Cups is off his game or reversed, he's gonna fire back an equally emotional email back to that person. But the King of Cups, in their most mature aspect, they step back. They say, well, that person's emails tend to come through. They may not even know that they come through. So, negative, maybe it's my backstory that's reading stuff in because there's no tone, inflection, or anything in emails. What's the message? What are the facts here that they're trying to get across? Is there something that I can do? And maybe sleeping on it, and also having like an air sign or friend or anyone who's impartial to the situation. Take a look at your email. Make sure it's stripped of all emotions. I do that all the time. I write something and it's just scathing, and I send it to my dad usually. And he's like, well, that's good, but you might want to do this. I'm like, no, I know I can't send what I wrote. I just, this is where I'm at. Can you make it professional for me? I feel like earth signs are the least likely to do something like that. But of course, it'll depend on their placements. Okay, so what was in focus recently, Aries? My tongue feels very tongue-tied this morning. The Empress. Beautiful. Some of you may found out you're pregnant, or your partner's pregnant. Some sort of, it could be something as simple as having a garden, really being in the earth. All the queens go to her, and I feel like she encompasses all of their energies, but I feel like she's mostly tied to the Queen of Pentacles, Mother Earth, the earth signs. She's bountiful. She's organic, though. The way she is a leader, right? All the queens look to her, but she leads. She just has that. She has that more receptive energy. So she's very open to receiving information, communicate. She's just open to things, and she allows things to happen more organically and understands the value of a process. Some things are a process. You think of the phase that the moon takes a certain amount of time to go through its cycle. Pregnancy takes a certain amount of time to go through to grow a baby, and there's just nothing you can do but gently encourage and support along the way. You can't force it. You can't take any action to make it happen any faster. It just is what it is. Yeah, she's not going to say, you're going to do it this way. She'll discuss kind of the end game and then allow people to explore their path, because I think she knows there's so much value in that, and allowing people their process and their way to find things, to find their way, and trust that that's where the most growth and wisdom can come from. What do you want most? And I just got a bell, my light that does not do that often just pinged, so I think was the message. Two of Wands. We're getting a lot of Two of Wands and Three of Wands. So Two of Wands, and there's another Earth here. So we have now the Earth showing up twice in these first three cards. So for me, the Wand sign is energy. And we only have a certain amount of energy. We need to sleep. We need to recharge. We are not perpetual motion machines. And so we only have a certain amount of energy. And it's a good idea to look and say, where am I putting my energy? I mean, I can look at this card in a few different ways, but it's interesting. There's this rod back here that's here that she's not even looking at all. She's putting all this time and energy almost into a trip, which right now is really not something people are doing, maybe planning in the future, but it's kind of like she's putting a lot of time and energy daydreaming instead of putting time and energy into something she has tangibly right in front of her. And I never read this card quite that way, but this is a new deck, and I'm just seeing that in here. So it's kind of, so for what you want most, to me, that would mean, well, one, you want to break free, but is one way to look at it. And that may be what you're saying, what you're thinking, but maybe what it is to be able to appreciate what you have and be happy with what you have, instead of, maybe you're a person, I'm totally like this, who lives a lot in a fantasy world. A lot of daydreaming. If you've ever seen the show Offspring, I think it's Netflix. The main character is always playing all these scenarios in her head, and it's very relatable for me. What's in focus right now? This plant is not doing well. Speaking of nurturing things, you got a Sag sign in focus, temperance, balance. It's a little bit of that Two of Pentacles look to the card, which is the grind. But I feel like that makes so much sense with what I just said with that Two of Wands, is balancing between, reality and putting the time and energy you need into the things around you, which may, if you haven't been putting a lot of energy in, may yield results that are pretty pleasing. And so balancing that between the daydreaming and I want to travel, and that's a very Sagittarius thing, wanting the freedom, and finding acceptance between those. Now, for me, balance, this isn't something, people who are like, I don't know, I feel like people who act like they're completely in balance and all the time. I think balance is something we feel periodically as the scales tip back and forth and we try to find the balance, but it's pretty rare. I feel like managing expectations and understanding that I'm probably making someone seasick, sorry, is the norm, and to find acceptance in that and appreciate that, and being able to acknowledge, I'm feeling a little tipped this way today, and okay, well, I'm just going to use some of my tools and do the best I can. And some days you wake up feeling really, really good. I felt that was for me this morning, and sometimes you don't, and it's okay. It's okay. Acceptance. What else is the Hierophant? Oh, I mean, this is very Sagittarius to me. And I can't remember what the 5 card is, but it could, finding a higher philosophy. And that's what enlightenment, that's what you can see. There's kind of a glow around both of those. Even this King of Cups, he has to find some sort of spiritual enlightenment to not be ruled by his emotions. This is ninth house stuff to me. I know it's the 5 card, and Temperance is 14, but Sag is the ninth house, and I'm getting a strong Sag vibe from you guys, meaning it could involve Sagittarius, it could involve something that happened in late November, early December, or coming up, or doing during between those two Sagittarians. So really, again, getting that kind of giving a higher perspective and putting things in perspective so you can stay more balanced. Things don't seem quite as out of control when you're able to take that step back, like the King of Cups, and say, whoa, this person really triggered me. I get triggered pretty easily. This person triggered me. Let's sit with that. Let's examine it. Let's try to let it go. Let it go like a fart in the wind, as my friend used to say. And it makes you laugh, so it's hard to hold on to something when you're laughing. Or it was another friend of mine said, boy, that person really needs to drop the quarters. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she said, yeah, they're so uptight they could be holding quarters in their butt cheeks. They need to let go. Drop the quarters. So if you start finding yourself going down some negative path, those are some fun little things from Jen you can think about. But when you're laughing, it's like it's almost like ringing this bell. I just got the chills. It breaks. You're like, oh, thinking about something. Your shoulders tense. You're not really breathing deeply. You know what you know that feeling. We all do, right? We're all human. But if you can laugh, it's gonna break it up. You're not gonna be able to be hanging on so tight. Coming up in the near future is Judgment. So this is a wake-up call. It's kind of, you've been practicing this stuff, but it's been kind of white knuckling it, sort of. And this is surrender, absolute surrender, and release of judgment. I feel like you're still holding on to a lot of mistakes you made in the past, instead of sort of letting the resentment go and just moving forward with the, I'm very swoopy today, with the lesson of the situation and the wisdom. I don't even like lesson, I like wisdom. A wake-up call. But I'm seeing this very, very positive. Look at this. Empress, Temperance, Hierophant, Judgment, all right in a row. So you're in a big spiritual growth, which sometimes can feel, you may be thinking, Jen, right now doesn't feel so great to me, and you're acting like these are great cards, but it's a process, right? Here we started acknowledging that it's a process, trying to find this balance and really looking at things from a more spiritual, philosophical light. And then you're able to really have this awakening and this release and this wake up call spiritually, and surrender and truly let go. When I say let it go like a fart in the wind, like truly letting it go. Doesn't mean you won't think about it and you won't have to go, be careful, you're going there. Yeah. It's not, it's like exercise. I say, you don't do one push-up and like, whoa, I'm buff, I'm good for the rest of my life. That's what everything is like, right? oh, I'm starting to, my thoughts are starting to go there. Let it, it's okay. And even have something to think about. Okay, this is a therapist taught me this. Um, she was like, okay, go, just start at the door and describe this room for me. Just go around, name whatever you see, just describe this room for me. And so whatever, I did that. And she's like, what were you thinking about when you were doing that? I was like, the room. She's like, exactly. Okay. So you can, and it doesn't, but you're not, I think maybe you had compartmentalized, and sometimes we need to, but this is, this is truly, really getting much higher. And even if we can never truly let go things go in human nature, being able to frame it in a way that you can, I mean, this could even, uh, you know what I'm saying. Okay, this is long, I'm sorry. Two overall outcomes. Yeah, justice, balance, karma, doing the shadow work. This is such a cool card. Coming to term. We have another major arcana. Holy shit. By surrendering, by releasing, by giving up trying to control things, things actually become more in balance. When you kind of let them, um, if you try too hard to keep something in one place, in one way, um, versus knowing that it'll be in place a lot of the time, right? But not all the time, and that's okay, is going to be a lot easier on your life, your psyche, your emotional, mental health than trying to make it stay right exactly this way all the time. Wow. Six of Wands. Well, with Justice in the Six of Wands, if you've had any legal cases, and we do have the Six of Pentacles under there, this is the Victory card. This is, I really feel like this is you knowing within you, right? Within you, it's like everything's within us. Within you, you have conquered something. You have victory. And so I always like to say with this card, sure, it could be you win a job, you win a contract, you win something, an award, you get recognized in the paper, something goes viral, whatever it is. Sure, that's great, that outside recognition, but this card is about counting your own wins, counting your wins that no one even knows is a win. I got up and I went walking this morning like I told myself I was going to do last night. I thought of that thing that usually has me spiraling into this negative space, and I let it go. And I reframed it, and I took a deep breath, which I feel like I have to do right now, and I let it go. I didn't allow that asshole at work to throw me off. So there's an ascension, and you can kind of, it's interesting, sort of the posture between these two cards, or that is that surrender to it being okay if not everything is perfect, and you made mistakes in the past, and you'll continue to make mistakes, and we're all just doing our best, and yeah, so real spiritual growth this month. All right, I'm going to end it because this is long. And thank you, Aries. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. Bye.